Hello, so good afternoon. Someone else is will join or not? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Okay, so I was just waiting for the others to join. So, did you get the notice that the seventh semester lab classes will be started from 20th? Huh? Jaul, Deepak?
Which notice, sir?
Seventh semester classes will be lab classes and project will be started from 20th.
No, sir. That notice I didn't get.
20th you did not get. It was shared long back. Deepak?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Got na?
Yes, sir.
So what have you thought? Have you planned of coming?
It not we have planned because from 20 internal exam will be started.
Yes, 20, the internal exam is also starting. That is also true. Up to 24th. Okay, so have you gone through all the lecture notes which I have shared in the Google Classroom?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically in the HVDC, I hope the basic introduction chapter was completed. The advantages and disadvantages of HVAC, HVDC, and the planning of HVDC. Okay, and how it is planned and how the means conversion is taking place. Which is our converting station. Then we have also discussed about the uh, converter also. Okay, so converter, one portion of the converter was completed, that is module 2, and the next portion is yet to be completed. So now we are being discussing about the fax devices. Okay, so since you are following the classes, so I hope you have understood the basic components of fax devices. What are the basic fax devices you have already understood, and requirement of fax devices you have also understood, means why fax devices are used, what were the disadvantages of the conventional reactive power compressing devices, and how the fax devices are more efficient compared to those. Okay, so that things we have already discussed earlier. So today I will be continuing my discussion on the same topic. Okay, in the last class I hope I have discussed about the different types of fax devices. Okay, so yes, these different types of fax devices it was discussed. There is the main classification is the series compensator and shunt compensator. So under series we have TCSC, then SSC, and under shunt compensators we have STATCOM and SBC. Okay, and then we have the UPFC, which is the combined series shunt compensator. So the UPSC has the combined feature of a series as well as shunt compensator of a fax device. Okay, now based on the different you can say pyotonic devices, the fax devices are also classified as variable impedance type and the voltage source converter based, that is the VSC based. So variable impedance type were the SBC and TCSC, and VSC based were the STATCOM, SSC and UPFC. Okay. Actually it will be UPFC rather, correction. Okay, so SBC we have just discussed in the last class, the basic configuration of SBC. Okay, so the basic configuration of SBC is that it is an the thyristor is anti-parallel and can be used to switch on a capacitor reactor until it is stepwise control. Okay, that means the configuration of the SBC is such that the thyristors, a set of thyristors are there which are actually connected in anti-parallel way. Okay, in such a way that the capacitor and reactor can be switched. That means the SBCs has the purpose of reactive power compensation, because as a fact device it not only means supply or produce reactive power, it also consumes reactive power when required. So there is a switching mechanism. So as per the requirement of reactive power, if it is requirement is more, then obviously it will be producing reactive power. If the reactive requirement is negative, that is if consumption of reactive power is required, is necessary, then the fact device also acts as a reactor. Okay, it consumes reactive power. So there is a firing angle also. So as per the requirement, the firing angle, because when the reactive power is required or compensation needs to be started, there is a firing angle. Okay, so capacitor or capacitor bank or inductor bank can be varied stepwise or continuously by thyristor control. So several important SVS configurations, okay, sorry, it will be SVCs rather. SVCs, okay. So some of the static compensator of SVCs as per the classifications, first one is the saturated reactor, then we have the thyristor control reactor, then is the thyristor switch reactor, the TSC, and then combined TCR and TSC. Okay, so based on the configuration, these three major classifications are there under SVC. First is the saturated reactor. So the saturated reactor is actually a multi-core reactor with the phase winding so arranged that to cancel the principal harmonics. That means this particular reactor, since reactor already we have discussed that the reactor purpose of the reactor is to consume reactive power. Okay, and if you are using a series reactor, then its purpose is to limit the fault current, because during certain short circuit fault or any line to line fault, the fault current is huge. So the reactors which are connected in series, their main purpose is to limit the fault current, so that because if the fault current is excessive, that can damage the circuit breaker. Okay, so to limit the fault current in order to maintain the, you can say, the stability of the system. So if the fault current is too much huge, it will not result in a stable system, so the circuit breaker may get blown up. Okay, so the insulation may get failed. There can be an insulation failure also. So those were the applications of the reactor. So in saturated reactor is a multi-core reactor. So there are multiple cores on which the reactors will be connected or winding is done, and the arrangement is that to cancel the principal harmonics. Okay. So it is considered as a constant voltage reactive power source, and or you can say reactive source. Okay, and it is almost maintenance free but not very flexible with respect to operating characteristics. Okay, so this is the basic kind of SVC which is used, and it is used in for specific reasons or specific applications of their specific applications. Now coming to the TCR, the thyristor control reactor. So this is also a reactor which is the modified form of the previous reactor. Okay, multi-core reactor, and which is majorly used under SVC. So it is a shunt connected thyristor control inductor. Okay, so reactor means inductor, so it is also shunt connected. So that means the reactor which we have studied earlier, the reactor when we connect, it is served as a reactive power consumption or consuming equipment. Okay, now if you are connecting a thyristor to it, and the triggering is done with the help of a thyristor, so that means its operation is controlled by using a thyristor. Okay, so that means it is a normal reactor, shunt reactor, but its operation is based on, or you can say the operating time or the way it is triggered, it is totally controlled by using a thyristor. So it is a thyristor based control or thyristor control inductor, okay, or reactor, whose effective reactance is varied in a continuous manner by partial conduction control of the thyristor valve. That means the thyristor valve action is totally responsible for the operation of this TCR. So as per the thyristor is triggered, the TCR operates. Okay. So this is the figure of a TCR. You can see this is the means a back-to-back connection, okay, or a loop connection of a thyristor set, and this is a reactor. This is one reactor. This is another reactor. This is the control circuitry. That means the signal of controlling the circuit is triggered from this particular box. Okay, or you can say this block, or rather I should say block, and this is the neutral connection. So this is the power line. So this is the power line. The power is coming from here, and we have the power transformer. So voltage is stepped up. Okay, so after stepping up, then the the TCR is connected, okay, with the line, and there is an instrument transformer. Instrument transformer means CT and PT, potential transformer and current transformer. So the power and current are measured from the CT and PT, and it is being sent to the control circuitry. So depending upon the power power actually achieved or received from the power line. Okay, so because with the help of a PT you will be measuring voltage, and with the help of a CT you will be measuring current. So from there we will get the amount of volt ampere, that is VA, of the line. Okay, depending upon that, a corresponding signal will be sent to the thyristor for triggering it, and accordingly the reactance will be connected inside the line. Okay, so this is the operation of a TCR. So this particular TCR compensator consists of a combination of 6 pulse or 12 pulse thyristor controlled reactors with a fixed shunt capacitor. So as we have already studied in the particular HVDC converter station, we have seen that we use a 6 pulse converter or a 12 pulse converter. But because there are also thyristor connections, okay, thyristor setup is there. Here also for thyristor triggering we use a 6 pulse or a 12 pulse converter. Similarly, the reactive power is changed by adjusting the thyristor power firing angle. So as I have discussed earlier, that the reactive power, the amount of reactive power required from the source or reactive power required to be consumed. So if the reactive power consumption is required to be more, then obviously more reactance need to be connected. So the amount of reactance which needs to be connected in the system can be controlled by the firing angle. So depending upon the firing angle, the reactance can be controlled in the TCR. So TCRs are characteristic by continuous control, no transients, and generation of harmonics. The control system consists of voltage measuring devices, that is the CT, and PT, current measuring devices, controller for error signal conditioning, a linearizing circuit, and one or more synchronizing circuits. So this control system means this particular controller, okay, the control circuitry, this composites of this particular instrument. So this entire control system includes this control circuit as well as the CT, okay, as well as the fixed capacitor also. Okay, so comprising all this, we get a control circuit, and there is a error signal conditioning also is there. Okay, then we have the thyristor switched capacitor, that is the TSC. Okay, so TSC configuration is shown in this particular figure. Let us see. Here also the TSC is the configuration is very similar to that, but over here we have mainly focusing on the capacitor. So it is a thyristor switched capacitor. So previously it was a thyristor controlled reactor, and this is a thyristor switched capacitor. So these are all shunt connected. That means there are two sets of capacitors which are shunt connected to each other with a common node, and each capacitor is connected with a thyristor, means a group of thyristors. Okay, and there is a damping reactor also in series with the thyristor, and it is connected in series with the power transformer. Okay, and similar to the previous one, there is a instrument transformer also, whose input are being given to the control circuitry. Depending upon the power and current, voltage and current measured by the CT and PT, okay, that amount of power is being sent to the control circuitry. So based on those, the control circuitry gives signals to the thyristor, and thyristor operates. Okay, the firing takes place. So as the because if you require more reactive power, so the thyristor firing angle should be varying accordingly, and that how much firing angle is required. Okay, because it is a closed loop system. If you compare this with a control system, it is a closed loop system, just like a closed loop control system, where we have a forward power transfer function, where we have a feedback. Okay, we have already studied control system, and this is another forward power transfer function. Suppose this is G1S, this is G2S. Okay, so G2S is the actual plant on which the control action is taking place, and G1 is the controller or the control circuit, and this is the feedback. So HS is the feedback on which the depending upon the feedback, the control signal is provided. Okay, this is suppose CS. So this is the input. Suppose RS is the input. Okay, input power is traveling and it is going inside this particular TC, getting an output, and based on the output the feedback is sent, because the feedback is generally sent from here, okay, from the instrument transformer, and as per the requirement, how much requirement of reactive power is there, the circuit triggering is done, thyristor triggering is done, rather firing is done. So as the requirement of power is changes, the firing angle also changes. Okay. So it consists of a thyristor switched capacitor. Okay, so it is a thyristor switched capacitor. Okay, which is split into number of units of equal ratings to achieve stepwise control. As such, they are applied as a discretely variable reactive power source, where this type of voltage suppose is deemed adequate. Now, all switching takes place when the voltage across the thyristor valve is 0, thus providing almost transient free switching. That means when the switching is performed, when the switching operation is being performed, the switching takes place when the voltage across thyristor valve is 0. So under 0 condition only voltage, the thyristor switching takes place. So why it is done? Because it is being designed in such a way that at 0 voltage the thyristor switching is being triggered, then there is less chance of, almost 0 chance of transient voltage to be occurring in the system. So this minimizes the risk of transient into the system. That is why the triggering of the thyristor takes place when the thyristor voltage is 0 volt. Okay. Then disconnection is affected by suppressing the firing plus to the thyristors, which will block when the current reaches 0. So if you want to disconnect the particular thyristor, okay, or you can say a capacitor, okay, so just suppress the firing. So if you suppress the firing, automatically the capacitor will be disconnected from the system and the current will reach 0. So TCSCs are characterized by stepwise control, no transient, very low harmonics, lossless, and redundancy and flexibility. So these are the advantages of TCSC. Okay. So because TCR has a different configuration, it has reactors, and TCSCs have capacitors. So as per the setup or as per the configuration, these are the advantages which we get from a TSC, which was actually missing in the case of TCR. Now there can be a combined construction or you can say configuration of both TSC and TCR. Okay, that means you can combine them. So in this structure, in this particular figure, you can see we have two parallel connections of thyristor control, but over here in one part we have a reactor connected in series with the thyristor. Okay, and the other part we have a capacitor connected. Okay, so that means this part of the conductor, this part of the circuit where the reactor is being controlled with the use of a thyristor, and this part the capacitor is being controlled with the use of a thyristor. Okay. Okay, so this particular setup is being done in such a way that it serves the purpose of both the reactor compensation and the capacitor compensation also. So the combined TSC and TCR are the optimal solution in the majority of the cases. So in major cases, depending upon the requirement of reactive power, so as I've told you, when there is requirement of reactive power, we need the application of capacitor, and when we require the consumption of reactive power, we need the requirement of reactor. Okay, so based on the requirement, the optimal solution is the combination of TSC and TCR. Okay, with this, continuous variable reactive power is obtained throughout the complete control range. That means continuous variable reactive power. So reactive power can vary. That means if more reactive power is required, then capacitance will be more than reactance. If less reactive power is required, then capacitance is less than reactance. So it can be easily varied, which was not being observed or not being present in the previous two cases individually. But once we combine them, the combined effect can be achieved and it can be applied in the system. Furthermore, full control of both inductive and capacitive parts of the compensator is obtained. So this is a very advantageous feature, permitting the optimum performance during large disturbances in the power system. So when there is a large disturbance of the power system, these both combination of TSC and TCR are being used. Okay, suppose for fault, any line fault, okay, short circuit, or you can say any particular fault of over voltage, okay, or line to line fault, or symmetrical unsymmetrical fault. So in those cases, the combination of TSC and TCR works as a very efficient, or provides a very efficient solution to the problem. Okay, because if the reactors are connected in series with this, then they can consume most of the fault current. Okay, and they also perform the purpose of reactive power compensation by consuming reactive power which are in excess, and also when required it can generate also reactive power, okay, with the help of this capacitor controlled, or so you can say thyristor controlled capacitor setup of the SVC. See, the basic characteristics of the main SVC schemes are given in table 1. So in this table it shows that the different combination of the different types of SVCs, that means TCSC, sorry, it is a TSC, TCR, okay, then combined TSC, TCR, okay. Now first one, which is the TCR FC, okay. So VI and VQ characteristics. So I think you can go through this table. Okay, the table will give you a just idea about the comparison of the reactive power compensation. Okay, with the help of the different types of SVCs. I am not going into details. Okay, because just reading won't help you. You can go through this, and it is just in a details. Okay, in details or in a comparison table. So it helps you to understand it in a better way. Okay, now we are using the thyristor control series capacitor. Now thyristor control series capacitor, this is also in series connection, because if you see, okay, so previously we were discussing about the shunt, okay, static power compensator about the shunt. Now talking about the series compensator, the TCSC and TSSC comes in the you can say list. Okay, so capacitive reactance compensator, which consists of series capacitor bank shunted by a thyristor control reactor in order to provide a smoothly variable series capacitive reactance. So you can see this is the configuration, or you can see the circuit diagram of a TCSC. Okay, so it is basically a series capacitor, because it is TCSC means thyristor control series capacitor. Okay, so capacitor is in series with the line, because this is a line, this is a power line. Okay, and this fact device is connected in series. So TCSC is series connection of a capacitor, but this capacitor is actually thyristor controlled with the help of a thyristor, and reactors are just current limiting reactors, because if there is any fault by any chance, if the resistance of this path is low, then if the fault current enters this path, parallel path, shunt path, then it can result in a huge damaging of the equipment. So this is why the current is limited using the current limiting reactor. Okay, so it consists of a as I told, that capacitive reactance compensator, which consists of a series capacitor bank shunted by a thyristor controlled reactor Okay, in order to provide smoothly variable series capacitive reactance. So capacitor bank, as we have studied earlier, that if you have a power line, so capacitor banks are generally connected in parallel. Okay, one capacitor bank is connected, where a bank has a huge setup like this. Capacitor bank, this one, these are huge. You can say these are huge setup inside the capacitor bank. This one, these are two different combinations of capacitor bank which can be connected. So capacitor bank is a series and parallel combination of capacitors, okay, connected in order to produce reactive power. So as per the requirement, the series and parallel combinations will be triggered, switched on, and capacitance will provide you or generate you with the required capacitance. So in TCSE also, this entire capacitor bank is connected in the system, but it is connected in series, not in shunt. So this entire setup will be connected in series connection. Okay. Okay, so you can see this particular capacitor is actually one capacitor bank as a whole. So this bank is connected in series with the line, but it is actually totally controlled by the help of a thyristor and some reactor connected to it, because the reactor is required for limiting the current. Okay, so this is a demonstration by the schematic diagram, okay, where the capacitor is shunted by two thyristors in anti-parallel. Because they are called anti-parallel, this connection is called the anti-parallel connection, because they are both parallel but they are facing in opposite directions with respect to each other. Okay. So upon the firing of the thyristors, alternatively one carries current in positive half cycle and another carries current in the negative half cycle. Okay, so because alternating current is passing in this way to this reactor as well, because this is shunt path. This particular path is a shunt path. So at this particular node 1, the current can be divided. Okay, so the current is divided, so part of the current is traveling the shunt path. Okay, if the current is traveling the shunt path in this way, sinusoidal current, so for positive cycle this may be triggered, for negative cycle this can be triggered. Okay, because the firing of the thyristors, alternatively one carries positive current in positive half cycle, the other carries negative half cycle. So one thyristor will be carrying positive half cycle with it, another thyristor will be carrying negative half cycle with it. So this is totally controlled with the help of a firing angle inside the thyristor. So in one half cycle, when the thyristor is fired at an adjustable angle, it conducts current for the rest of the half cycle till natural current 0 is obtained. Okay, so it means in one particular half cycle, rather, if I represent in this way, this is one complete cycle. For one half cycle, this half cycle, that means from 0 to pi, this is 2 pi. Okay, so in each subcycle, when the this particular thyristor is fired, so it is conducting the current for the rest of the half cycle also till the natural current is 0. So during the off time of the thyristor current, is conducted by the capacitor, and the capacitor voltage is 0. That means during off time, when the thyristor is not operating, okay, so the thyristor current is still conducted and the capacitor voltage across the capacitor becomes 0. So during off time condition, the voltage is 0 over here. Okay, sorry, the voltage is Vc. Okay, so during conduction for the rest of the half cycle, the voltage, the half cycle, the current is 0 and the voltage will be Vc. So during the on time of the thyristor, capacitor is short circuited, that is Vc is 0, and the current is conducted by thyristor. So this operation is in this way, that when the thyristor is off, so no current is flowing in the thyristor, so the voltage across capacitor is Vc. When thyristor is on, So when thyristor is on, this will give the minimum resistance path. So the current will bypass thyristor, it will travel through this particular thyristor bank. Okay, it will bypass the capacitor, it will travel through the thyristor and it will complete the path in this way. Okay, so during off time the thyristor current is conducted by the capacitor and the capacitor voltage is Vc, and when on time is there, thyristor current is short circuited because the thyristor is short circuited in this way because the current is flowing in this direction. Okay, it is like a short circuit because the high impedance is over here, but it is bypassing here because when thyristor is on, there is a continuity in the line. Okay, because when thyristor is off, this particular circuit is open, so current will flow through the capacitor only. But when the thyristor is fired, this particular circuit is conducting, so it will bypass the particular capacitor and will travel through the low resistance path of the shunt of the thyristor. So on the on time of the thyristor, capacitor is short circuited, that is Vc will be 0 and the current is conducted by the thyristor. So during off time, okay, this is conducting, capacitor is conducting, but during on time, there is thyristor is on, the current is not flowing in this direction, it is flowing through this particular path. Okay, this is for the one half cycle. For the second half cycle, same thing operates. That means for one half cycle, this is triggered, okay, this is not triggered. Okay, for rest half cycle also same thing happens, because this is when this is triggered, then this one is not carrying any current, because if this is not carrying any current, then only it is triggered, and this is carrying current, then obviously the capacitor will be bypassed, so the capacitor voltage will be 0. This means that Vc can be controlled for a given I, for a given current. The Vc is controlled for a given current, which is equivalent to the reducing the capacitance as C equals to Vc by I. Okay. Okay, so that means the Vc can be controlled for a given I, for a particular current I, only the Vc can be controlled, because if the current triggering, or you can say thyristor triggering, is not taking place, so that is totally dependent on the current I. So current I is giving you the operation, or you can, it is responsible for the triggering. So as per the triggering, we get the voltage of Vc. Okay, so that means the what amount of Vc we will be getting, that is also depending on the capacitor, because if capacitance is less, because capacitor bank, what is capacitor bank? Capacitor bank is a group of capacitor, it is fixed. The fixed amount of capacitor is there in the circuit. Okay, so the capacitance voltage will also be fixed, but if the current is varying, then obviously the current, the voltage across the capacitor won't be fixed. So capacitor voltage is dependent upon the capacitor also, but if the capacitor switching is being fixed, then the current determines the amount of capacitance in the process. Okay, the current depends, the voltage Vc depends upon the current also, क्योंकि कैपेसिटर के जो वोल्टेज मिलेगा, ठीक है, what amount of capacitor voltage you will get, that is equals to capacitor current as well as capacitance. अब कैपेसिटेंस अगर फिक्स्ड होता है तो कैपेसिटेंस वोल्टेज को फिक्स होना चाहिए, इट शुड बी फिक्स्ड, बट इफ द करंट इज वेरिंग द कैपेसिटर वोल्टेज विल नॉट बी फिक्स्ड. सो करंट वेरिंग मींस द फायरिंग एंगल इज चेंजिंग. Okay, by this scheme the capacitance can be controlled smoothly by adjusting the firing angle. So thyristors are now available. So thyristors are now available to large current and to withstand during off time large voltage encountered in the power systems. So that means these thyristors are now able to carry large current, because previously thyristors were not being capable, because the diodes are also not being capable of that. But this is the utilization of the application of power electronic devices, that they have the capability of withstanding high amount of voltages. Okay, so the latest device of the thyristor which is used in this particular TCSC, okay, are called the gate turn off thyristor GTO. So the latest GTO has the capability that by suitable firing circuit, angle, or you can say angle time at which it goes on and off can be controlled. So basically this portion was a little bit discussed briefly in the converter station rather, that GTO has an advantage. Okay. Because the GTO has the special capability that gate turn off. Okay, the gate turn off time, the angle or the time at which the gate is turning off can also be controlled. Because normal thyristor only gate turn on can be controlled, but GTO both turn on and off can be controlled simultaneously. So as per the requirement, the gate can be turned on and turned off. So if you're turning on the gate, then it will remain turned on. So if this particular gate is turned on, then no current is flowing through the capacitor. But when this is turned off, then current is flowing through the capacitor. But when it is necessary to turn it off, okay, if you want to control it, that cannot be done, okay, manually or with the help of a controller. That is why turning off is also necessary. So that is being done with the help of a GTO. So GTO helps in turning on and off the capacitor, this particular thyristor, in a very efficient way, in a very controlled way, so that the voltage across the capacitor can be controlled. This means wider range and finer control over capacitance. So the capacitance can be controlled in a fine way and in a wide range. Okay. Similar control is also possible over series reactor in the line. मतलब series reactor means thyristor control series capacitor जैसा होता है, TCSC. So you can also use thyristor controlled series reactor, that is TCSR. If you put a reactor over here and if you want to control the magnitude of the reactance by using a thyristor control, so you can use this same method. Okay, same method will be applied. Okay. Now this is the equation for the TCR reactance. Okay, so TCR reactance is XL. This is the equation. So XL alpha is the firing angle. Which means that in a TCR, if I go back to the TCR once again, this TCR. So it is a thyristor control reactor. So reactor is there. This is the current limiting reactor. This is the actual reactor of the line. Okay. So the reactance of the line depends upon the firing angle of the thyristor. Okay. So that is why the equation of XL, there is a function. It is a function with where we have a bracket. In bracket we have alpha. Okay. So which means that the reactance of the line is dependent upon the firing angle. So XL bracket alpha is equals to XL pi by pi minus 2 alpha minus sine 2 alpha. So which gives an idea that the firing angle alpha, okay, controls the total reactance of the line. So reactance over here, if you don't have this firing angle concept, the reactance is fixed. But reactance can be varied if you vary this alpha. Okay. So you can see that in the denominator alpha plays a very significant role. Okay. Because if the alpha increases, what will happen? We have a negative sign over here. Okay. So if the alpha is more, suppose alpha is 90 degree or alpha is 45 degree. If it is 45 degree, okay, so 45 means it is pi by 4. So the value will be pi divided by, or rather XL divided pi into pi divided by pi minus 2 into pi by 4 minus sine 2 into pi by 4. So what we get? We get XL into pi by, it is cancelled, we get 2, and it is also cancelled, we get 2. So it is pi minus pi by 2 minus sine pi by 2. So pi xl pi by 2 minus 1. Okay, so minus 1 is the maximum because pi means what? 3.15 3.1614 or 1416, I would rather 3.14. So xl into 3.14 by 3.14 minus 1. Now if this particular angle, okay, if this is not pi by 4, if this is pi by 2, so what we can get? If this is pi by 2, so it will be pi minus pi, so it will get cancelled, minus sine 2 pi. Okay, so sine 2 pi means it is 0 degree, so reactance will be infinite. Okay, that is why the reactance cannot be varied in that way. Reactance, some limitation should be there. Okay, so this figure number 2 is the structural definition of this particular combination, okay, of the TCR. So this shows a concept that of a TCSC model. A TCR is connected in parallel with a fixed capacitor so that to control the reactance of the varying firing angle, thyristor firing angle alpha. Okay, so you can see this particular TCSC, this is TCR and TSC, and this is TCSC. This is TCSC. So if you combine them, so the angle of the firing should be alpha from 0 to 90 degree. So TCR reactance is XL, varies from the actual inductive reactance XL to infinity. So it is starting from XL to infinity. It can be either minimum XL or maximum infinity. So this control reactor is connected across the series capacitor so that the variable capacitive reactance is possible across the TCSC, which modify the transmission reactance. So effective TCSC reactance with respect to the alpha can be given as this equation. Okay, so this is the modified equation because the TCSC which is there, the effective equation rather, the TCSC which is there, the TCSC reactance has to be calculated because this is the TCR reactance. So TCR reactance, we across the reactor there is a capacitor connected. So that control reactor is connected across the series capacitor so that the variable capacitor reactance across TCSC is modified, which modify the transmissional reactance. So if I show, this is the TCR, along with that we connect a capacitor. If you connect a capacitor in parallel, so we get the TCSC. So same thing, same modeling. This is TCR in parallel with capacitor. So TCR, just connect a capacitor in parallel like this. Not this fixed capacitor, not with the ground, with respect to this. Then we get a particular setup of a TCSC. So the TCSC reactance will be different compared to TCR reactance. This is the equation for the TCSC reactance. So it is a quite complicated one. Okay, where alpha is the firing angle. Okay, alpha is the firing angle. Along with that, there are 3 more terms which are new, which is A1, A2 and omega. Okay, so A1, A2, omega are actually some constant terms, rather I should say constant, because their values depend upon the values of the capacitive and inductive reactance of the line. Now capacitive and inductive reactance of the line, if it is fixed for a particular parameter or a particular location or a particular voltage, so the alpha, A1, A2 and omega will also be fixed. We can call them as a constant term. Okay, so these particular values are calculated by using these equations. So A1 is this particular equation, A2 is this equation, and omega is this equation, ratio between XC and XL. Okay, this figure, actually figure 3, so the operation means firing angle, when firing angle is changed, Okay, so it gives a huge impact, because the TCSC, will it work as a capacitive way or an inductive way? This total thing depends upon the firing angle. Okay, so this particular shows that the reactance characteristic curve of TCSC device drawn with respect to the firing angle alpha. The reactance characteristic divided into three different regions, such as inductive region, capacitive region, and the resonance region. Okay, so inductive and capacitive regions are the TCSC working regions, and the resonance regions occurs between the two regions where TCSC should not be operated. So TCSC is operating, suppose the firing angle is from suppose say alpha to 180. Okay, and alpha is that it is in between, you can say there is a margin. Okay, so there is a line like this, this is particular, we can say the inductive reactance, this is the capacitive reactance. Okay, this axis, y axis, in the positive axis we have capacitive inductive reactance, negative y axis we have the capacitive reactance. Okay, in the x axis we have the firing angle starting from 90 degree to 180 degree. In between there is a 180 phase, 120 phase. Okay, 90 to 120, then 120 to 180. Okay, or rather I should say not, there is a 90 degree difference, so it is actually not 120, it should be 135. 135. So mid position is the 135. Okay, so this alpha within which it should be limited. Okay, that means the alpha L limit. What is alpha L limit? Alpha L limit is the alpha inductive limit. Okay, so this line is suppose 135 degree. Okay, so alpha L limit is less than 135 degree. Okay, and alpha C limit is greater than 135 degree, not equals to, less than and greater than. Suppose this limit is 120 and it is starting from 150 suppose. Okay, or 140, sorry, not 140, 130, and this is 140 suppose. So 130 degree, so 90 to 130 degree is this range, and 140 to 180 degree is this range. Okay, so there is a limit. So if the angle of firing, it should be more than 90 degree, it cannot be less than 90 degree, and cannot be greater than 180 degree. So firing angle should be from 90 to some angle but less than 135. If it is operating in that region, then the TCSC will work as a inductive. Okay, the combination can work as a inductive region. Okay, and if the firing angle is more than 135, okay, and is more than this capacitive limit 35 and 180, it will work as a capacitive region. So this is the limit of the firing angle for this particular TCSC reactance. Okay, so nearer to the resonance, so in between we have a resonance. So resonance means the angle between alpha L limit and alpha C limit. Any angle between this range is called the resonance limit, resonance region. Okay, where there is no inductance also, there is no reactance also, capacitance also. So no inductance, no capacitance. So near to the resonance region, there is a large change in reactance for a small change in firing angle. If you see this curve, it is not at all a linear curve. So it is increasing at a very slow rate. So firing angle is increasing from 90 to almost 120. So there is a very small change in reactance. As the angle approaches the limit, so it takes a overshoot. So it's like a exponential curve. Okay. Similarly, for the capacitance also, when the angle is being firing over here from this condition, or it is being reduced or increased, firing angle increases. So the capacitance is also, you can say, it is reducing. So firing angle takes place from here 180 degree. So from 180 degree, if you are decreasing the firing angle, keep on decreasing, and after a certain point, you will see there is a huge jump in the inductive reactance. Sorry, capacitive reactance. So the huge jump. So So starting from 180, the reactance is less, and after 200, after if you're decreasing actually, so 170, then 160, okay, like the 150. So suppose just less than 150, then the reactance increases with a higher rate. Okay, rate of increase, the rate of rise increases. So recently research works are going on in the microtune of the reactants with concept of the split TCSC. So range of firing angle, okay. So 90, that means the alpha, the firing angle, if it is less than greater than 90 or less than limit, reactance limit or inductance limit, it is called the inductive region. And the firing angle, if it is greater than the capacitive limit and less than equals to 180 degree, is the capacitive region. And within this limit, we have the resonance region. So there is no inductive period where there is no capacitive period. So when you are increasing the angle starting from 90 degree to 180, you keep on increasing. So there is a region, this region. So if you keep on increasing, the reactance of the inductance increases. Suddenly you will see after that certain point, you will see there is no inductance observed. Okay, no inductance observed because it's totally zero now. Then after a certain angle, if you keep on increasing, again if you keep on increasing, suddenly you will see that no reactance is there, but suddenly capacitance has increased, and then capacitance is decreasing. Okay, if you want to trigger the capacitance first, then you start from here. You set the angle as 180 degree, then you keep on reducing, keep on decreasing the angle, and if you keep on decreasing the angle, at a point you will see you will get the maximum capacitance, capacitive reactance. Okay, then after that angle you will see in a region where there is no capacitance observed, it totally vanishes. And after that region, when you keep on decreasing the angle, you will see that there is a huge inductive reactance but no capacitive reactance, huge inductive reactance, and then again by decreasing the angle coming to 90 degree, the inductive reactance again comes down to a normal or a minimum range. Okay, so this is the variation of the firing angle. So we can conclude that the firing angle plays a very vital role for triggering the inductive phase or the capacitive phase. So that means the FACS devices, if you take TCSC or TCR combination of TSC, okay, it will operate as a reactive power compensating devices. Both it can consume as well as you can say produce reactive power, but it cannot do both the things simultaneously. So whether it is operating in the capacitive region or in the inductive region, it totally depends upon the firing angle. Okay. Okay, so this was the discussion. So you may go through these notes, because I will be sharing this with you. So this particular topic is not included in this particular, you can say, slot exam. Okay, but obviously if it is slot 1 month later, we may be expecting the second slot also. Okay, so you must start preparing accordingly.
Okay.
Okay, so before leaving, I just want to ask that have you started your projects? So Ziaul,
No, sir.
what is the project title?
Sir, solar energy e-vehicles power stations.
Okay, so under which supervisor you are doing?
Sir, Mr. Devrata Raha, sir.
Okay, there was a Hazira, not Raha.
Yeah, sorry, sir. Okay.
Deepak, have you started your discussion topic? So you are doing home automation, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So have you thought of something? मतलब कुछ सोचे हो
Yes, sir.
कैसे करना है? हाँ?
It's I think best home automation will be right.
कैसे करना है डिस्कस किए हो बाकी बाकी लोगों के साथ?
सर अभी तक तो नहीं हो पाया है।
तो होम ऑटोमेशन कैसे प्रोसीड करने की तो सोचे हो? कुछ कुछ नहीं सोचा अभी तक? मैंने कर पाओगे ना होम ऑटोमेशन कैसे करते हैं वो वाला? तो शायद तुम लोग तो रिसर्च कर रहे हो, रिसर्च कर रहे हो ना, होम ऑटोमेशन कैसे करते हैं, होम ऑटोमेशन का मतलब क्या है?
हाँ यस सर।
ओके, सो पहले जो काम करो कि एक लेआउट बनाओ कि तुमको होम ऑटोमेशन में कौन कौन से चीज़ को तुमको डालना है। फर्स्ट दैट मीन्स इन अ होम ऑटोमेशन फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू मेक अ लिस्ट व्हाट आर द इक्विपमेंट्स दैट यू वांट टू इंक्लूड इन होम ऑटोमेशन। कौन सा चीज़ को ऑटोमेशन में लाना है जिसको कंट्रोल करोगे ना तुम ऑटोमेटिक वाईफाई से ब्लूटूथ से, है ना? तो तुमको
यस सर।
कौन कौन सी चीज़ को तुमको ऑपरेट करना है।
Sir, in 20 seconds, sir, what will happen, sir, project?
व्हाट प्लीज?
Means, sir, one notice came, na, sir, that 22nd December there is a project subject like in starting in 10 a.m. something.
Ah,
In
you have to frame a particular means whatever topic you have decided. Okay, means you have been assigned. You have to start some basic idea. You have to represent in way that what you have planned for the project. तो प्लानिंग क्या है, टाइटल दिया गया है, तुम्हारे पास फिर जो प्रोजेक्ट गाइड है वो भी पता है। तो तुमको क्या करना है कि प्रपोजल रखना है कि तुम प्रोजेक्ट जो टाइटल है तुम्हारा, ठीक है, वो टाइटल में क्या काम करने के लिए तुम सोचे हो अभी तक।
like presentation type, na, sir.
हाँ, प्रेजेंटेशन प्रेजेंटेशन ही बनाना है, लेकिन क्या सोचा है तुमने प्रोजेक्ट।
Okay, sir.
इसलिए इसलिए मैं दीपक को ही बोल रहा हूँ कि होम ऑटोमेशन में कौन कौन सी चीज़ को डालना है, कौन कौन से होम ऑटोमेशन तुम सोचे हो कि तुम समझ रहे हो कि तुम कर पाओगे, उस चीज़ को डालो, ठीक है। और
यस सर।
कौन सी माइक्रो कंट्रोलर यूज़ करोगे, कैसे करोगे, ब्लूटूथ करोगे, वाईफाई करोगे, ठीक है, वो पहले तुम एक चॉक आउट कर लो। सो व्हाट equipments are you thinking of controlling in home automation, and how you are thinking to proceed, because if you are planning a project you must be planning for completion of the project also, जो कंप्लीट भी करना है। तो कैसे करोगे, क्या करोगे, ठीक है, कब करोगे वो तो टाइम है अभी, कैसे करोगे वो तो धीरे धीरे पता चलेगा, लेकिन जो प्लान होता है ये अभी तुमने क्या सोचा है कैसे करने से प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट होगा। फिर इफ वंस यू स्टार्ट यू विल फाइंड मेनी प्रॉब्लम्स, ओके, so there will be many obstacles in the way, so that we will be encountering, but you must have a plan how you are going to see your project after the 8th semester, okay, there some must be some vision. So how you are planning and how you are seeing your project from now, that you have to chalk out that proposal, you have to means prepare, and you have to present, समझ गए?
यस सर।
If, so you if you require you may discuss with me, okay, so you can set a Google Meet meeting or a Zoom meeting, okay, so you can discuss with me,
यस सर।
okay.
I connect all the people and then again
uh,
create a link and discuss with the.
okay, okay, so then thank you for today then.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Your